Okay, I've now done like 100 takes of this, and this one just has to stick. Welcome to Raven Stories. Yay! Kicking off this podcast is my interview with a dear friend of mine, Chimdi. Chimdi is an amazing woman. When I say amazing, I tell you, everybody needs a friend like Chimdi in their lives. One thing I love most about Chimdi is just how committed and dedicated she is to whatever it is that she commits herself to. In her friendships, this shows up. In her career, this shows up. In other relationships, this shows up. As you listen to Chimdi's story, I hope that you can glean from her experiences and that it in turn enhances your life as well. And hopefully, you'll meet Chimdi out there somewhere in the world. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Bye.
Another thing I remember doing during COVID, so I had lots of questions. And I had to renew my passport during COVID. So one of my questions was like, oh, did you eventually renew your passport? Oh, did COVID ever end? So like I put on...
Like put questions for yourself?
Yes, in a box. And I was like, until last year I opened them up and I was like, oh my gosh, these were really big concerns and were, for me because... Hello, my name is Chimdi. I was born in Nigeria and I came to Canada when I had just turned 16. And so I went to high school here, university, and now I work in Canada.
So wait, you went to high school like from grade 10 or just like, your last?
Yeah, I would say I did a bit of like grade 10 like classes. So then it was like grade 10, 11, 12, part of grade 10. Yeah. Okay. My experience coming to Canada is very different from some people I met at U of M. And then like, I also had like my family like come as we became as students. And so that too looked different. But the primary thing was that I was the one like spearheading like their processes, like study permit, like application to universities. Okay, which one matches your interest? And so I was like, okay, I have all this wealth of knowledge. Everybody's now at university. Who else can I help? You know? So I was like, okay, YouTube. I was like, how do I post all these things and edit and just like make it fun? Because I find that many people think, oh, they want to come to Canada to flex. So they think Ontario is the place to be. I went to school in Ontario before I came to Manitoba. So I've seen the best of both worlds. I've gone to school in Quebec and I've traveled across Canada. So it's like, I've seen everything. Like I've seen the hype. And so a part of me just wants to share that real life with people and say, yeah, the hype can be good.
This is your plug. Like you do this, and after this, it also promotes you. And I potentially, you know what my project officer said this morning that like really struck me? He was like, Victoria, people need to see the people you're going to talk to. Like the world needs to see, and you don't know it now, but someone needs to hear this person's story and know this person. And I just thought, like I've been feeling there's different kind of emotions when you want to start something new, like you're saying, like, oh, who's gonna edit it? Like, who's gonna do this? And maybe I'll just focus on my job for now. You know? But imagine all this wealth of knowledge like that you have, like helping your family members process from from choosing the school study permit.
Because like you said, it's like there's so many ways we can help each other. I was at one of the stoplights waiting to cross, and then this guy walked up to me and he started talking to me because of my locks, and I was like, oh yes, hi, you know, and code switching. I code switch a lot.
Wait, break down code switching.
So basically code switching is when your tone, your accent changes based on who you're talking to, based on language and the context and stuff like that. So I code switch multiple times. When I'm speaking Igbo, when I'm speaking Pidgin, or speaking another language because I speak Mandarin.
That's true, you also speak Igbo.
Yes. So then it's like a whole thing. And so when I was talking to this guy, he was like, oh, are you Jamaican? I was like, no. Are you from Ghana? I was like, no, I'm Nigerian. He's like, where are you from? And I told him I'm Igbo. We started speaking in Igbo. So it was like this whole switch. and then he was like, wow. And so he had just come to Canada for like less than like 6 months. And he's going to U of M. And I could tell that, bro, I could tell that there was information he needed. I was like, there's a Nigerian Students Association at campus, right? And like, if you're part of it, if you get involved, you have access to scholarships. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. It's like, oh, we have like different info sessions where you can get help with the resumes and stuff like that. He's like, he didn't know. And I was like, yeah, join it. And I connected him there, and then because the light was taking so long. It
wasn't turning
great. So yeah, made that connection, like random. And my sister was like, you don't know how God places you in people's lives to help them. And I'm always happy when I'm able to help people and, give them insights and perspective, because whether it's from where you're renting or what you're choosing as a major or what you think life is going to be like, there's so much that, like you said, hearing somebody else's story will inspire you. I was at U of M's career fair this week, and it was a full circle moment for me, because a year ago I was a student looking for a job and this year I came back as like with a recruiting team to recruit students. So it was a full circle moment for me, and to an extent it proves that, okay, so this is the story, this is the journey, because there are lots of questions if you haven't seen people do what you're doing, and then let them know that, oh, I've seen somebody that has done it, I can do it. It's like, okay, I have the tips from like going to high school here to university, work and everything. So yeah,
there's 3 categories, and I feel like some of these categories will like leak into each other. Your identity in a new country, mental health, emotional resilience, and how you balance the duality of your life and identity in Canada. Or instead, should I put this in like a bowl and then you just pick one? And okay,
yes,
should we do that?
Yes,
okay,
that would work.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, mental and emotional resilience. Somebody I know, Nigerian. We got close, and so this person we became good friends. We talk about family and stuff like that. But this person went through a rough time with their mental health, that they needed to be detained in HSC. So HSC has like one of the big hospitals in Winnipeg that had like a mental health ward, and that scared me.
What was going on for this person?
So they were dealing with like they had like different challenges that had come up. It wasn't money, it wasn't finance, it was just like, because they lived alone. So their family wasn't here, it's just them.
No siblings,
no
uncles,
aunties. They just came alone, and it was just them. And so this person was just going through a lot at the time, and they just needed that extra. It was now beyond extra help because it became really serious. And for me, that was my first time being in that hospital, like being in that psych ward where like they had this very heavy doors that someone had to buzz you, and then a nurse would come and let you in. They'd search your bag, search you.
For any sharp objects.
Yeah, sharp objects and like rope so long. Like I couldn't even bring my phone charger in because I knew I was going to stay there for a while. So I couldn't even bring my phone charger in. But with this friend of mine, it's a whole journey because there were different key points with mental health for this person. Last year was really rough because something happened that really broke me down and I went into tears. So with HSC, they were there for a while, and for me, I was like, I don't understand how this works here in Canada. And so then talking to the nurse, because this person didn't have any guardians here, so I was like, okay, I'm here as a friend, but they're like, oh, you're not family, so there's some things we can't tell you. And I'm like, this person needs support. Like,
the Canadian health system is so frustrating. Sometimes.
It's so different. And thankfully, this person had like student coverage from U of M, because the bill at the end of it was almost 60 grand. Jeez. Well, this was something they needed, and this is also like coming out of COVID. Maybe you've lost touch with friends, and so the network this person had built before COVID was lost.
Like non-existent.
Yeah, during COVID, and so for me, it opened my eyes to see like need, and so mental health and why that's important, and it's not something to talk down on people, look down on people, because people have different kinds of struggles. And even just showing up for that friend was was huge for me, because it's like myself, trying to take care of myself, but I want to be there for you since you don't have any family here. And after that experience, the person got like discharged from HSC, but something else happened where this friend was MIA, and because they had sent some funny texts, I was like,
that sends like red flags, like when
I was
messaging
and so like, you know, like on some apps you can see somebody's location. This person's location was off. I had called this person's work, like, oh, did this person show up for work today? And I don't think they had. And so I was like, called another mutual friend, like, have you heard from this person? And they're like, no. I was concerned. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a while, you know. And so there's something you can do in Winnipeg where you do like a wellness check. First time ever I had done something like that, I didn't think I was going to break down. I broke down because a lot of things could have happened. Because with this person, they had, you know, gone to the extreme end of, oh, it's not worth living life again. So I had valid concerns. It's like, okay, this person's important. I want them to be fine. And so for me, that was challenging because I just needed to know they were okay. You know, so the wellness check happened, and thankfully they were fine. It's like, oh, I was just sleeping. I was like, why did you text me? You know? And when I found out they were fine, before I found out they were fine, they're like, oh, they would reach out to this person, find out if they're okay, and then if they want us to tell you the updates, I'm like, you know, I was the one who requested for the check for the person. If they want us to let you know how they're doing, we'll let you know. And so it was like 40 minutes. So I was like getting ready because I wasn't sure if I was going to be going to a mortuary or a hospital. It was that extreme. And so I had all those concerns, and it was really heavy. Thankfully, the person was fine. We're just like taking an extended nap. It's like, why didn't you text me? Or why did you send all these coded messages? But then I really needed to... I cried after that. Like, after I found out they were fine, I cried really heavily. Like, my sister saw me sitting. I was like, what's up with you? Something's just like... I thought this person would have been gone by now. Like, in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, this date might be a date where I remember with pain, you know? And so I was prepared for the worst, but thankfully this person was fine. I just needed to take some time for myself and just like reset and recalibrate and be grateful to God that this person was fine. So for crossover night at church, that was my biggest Thanksgiving. Like, I think I started crying when we were doing Thanksgiving and like crossover and praying, because I was like, this person is alive. Like 6 months ago, I thought this one would be dead, you know? So for me, just like seeing mental health, and this is somebody else close to me, but I've also heard things of like other people, whether it's like Nigerian students with ADHD and or dyslexia, but somehow they managed to dodge the Nigerian school system and nobody gave them particular attention. And now they're in university, and so they're navigating all that, and they're like, something is missing, something is off, but they don't know how the words were and how to get support. Or whether it's people who are like financing themselves here in Canada, and it's like so much strain on them and they can't work more than a certain number of hours. It's like mental health is so huge. Or if it's like even relationships, some people have seen shaggy in relationships in this Canada, and so that impacts people's mental health too.
Well, let's talk about you.
Yes, me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about your own mental health.
So for
which of these issues you've encountered during your journey?
I'd say mental health for me has been an interesting thing to navigate, because first I was like, oh, would there be stigma around mental health? Like therapy, would there be...
Do you have a therapist?
I do, yes. So the first time I tried therapy, was this lady who did not understand, you know, the Nigerian context. It was like, oh, my parent, like I'm thinking about my parents and the decision I want to make. I didn't feel like my experiences were being valued. But I started seeing a therapist now from a referral of another Nigerian friend who started seeing the therapist. And so with this therapist, they're of Nigerian descent, so they understand, the cultural.
Excuse me? In Nigerian is a therapist?
I know, and so my therapist is like,
wow,
yeah,
good for her.
Yeah, so
good for her.
Yeah, her. So working with her has been amazing because I don't need to explain I'm the Ada kind of thing. Like, there's this like responsibility, like they just get it. They don't have to understand my entire story, but there's that cultural awareness. And
when you say, I'm the Ada of my family, I think only a Nigerian or a non-Nigerian who has context, who has spent time in Nigeria and understands some of the nuanced contexts of participating in the culture would understand that kind of coded statement.
Yeah. And so for me, it was a breath of fresh air. And I didn't actually start therapy until last year because I had hit or miss, and I was like, it's not worth trying this again until this person told me about it. And even with that, I was like still on the fence a bit because I was like, I wasn't sure what to expect. But for me, what therapy has looked like is helping me work through different thoughts. I'm in a very transitional stage right now. Just graduated from university, started working, life looks different for me. And coming to Canada was, okay, everything was about school. Like, now done school. What's next?
Yeah.
And so just having like that conversation of like identifying what I want for myself and, still respecting like my Nigerian culture and my Nigerian heritage, but then like you mentioned, the duality now being in Canada and what that looks like, so that's how I found therapy to be helpful. And another way I work on my mental health though is exercise. It was not something I used to be very intentional with, but now I'm intentional with that. I try to go to the gym a few times a week because I just found that like whether it's like running on the treadmill or doing a class or something, it just helps me clear my mind. Because for work, I sit down a lot. It just helps me, so like my back and everything. And so it helps me in that way. And I also journal a lot. Journaling is something I've been doing since I came to Canada, whether it's like writing it down, audio, or like singing. So those are some things that have helped me with mental health. And resilience is a big piece. COVID really showed me what it means to be resilient because the friends I had made my first 2 years of university had just like disappeared. It was like that summer. I remember one of my friends was like, "Oh yeah, do you have a mask?" I was like, "No, I don't, but I could knit you something," because at the time you could knit face mask and put a filter in it. So I thought I was going to see this person in the fall. So this was summer. I didn't see this person until graduation. A lot happened. COVID helped me value family, helped me value, community. And that was also a very key time because then there was like the Black Lives Matter movement. It was like, okay, what does, you of them had a strike during COVID. Yeah, and the interest rates, the exchange rate for Naira was going up at the time too. So another thing I remember doing during COVID is I had lots of questions. And I had to renew my passport during COVID. So one of my questions was like, oh, did you eventually renew your passport? Oh, did COVID ever end? So like I put on
put questions for yourself.
Yes, in a box. And I was like, and so last year I opened them up and I was like, oh my gosh, these were really big concerns and for me because a lot was going on at the time. My passport was expiring, my visa was expiring, my study permit was expiring.
Why was everything expiring?
All at the same time. And I was like, and I didn't know, it was the orange, red, yellow, and I didn't know what that looked like.
I feel triggered when you even say that. The zones. The
zones.
Zone,
and I was like,
red zone.
And it's like, you couldn't even travel, and you had to go to Ottawa to renew, like, your passport. And after renewing your passport, then you can now renew everything else. Thankfully, this was in summer. And so I was like, okay, how can I get all this done before the fall? Because I wasn't taking any summer classes. And so I eventually got an appointment to go to Ottawa. But then I heard stories that, to take months to get to it. I said, God help me. So I had gone to Ottawa and then did my did the appointment, and then came back. I had to quarantine when I came back to residence because I lived on residence at the time. So when I came back after the 2 weeks, I went to the front desk, like, you have mail. And I saw my passport. I said, God, thank you. Like, that same day, I went to apply for my study permit. And so I had to give like an explanation of like, okay, what happened and why did it expire kind of thing. And so send that in. I can't remember how long it took, but thankfully, that came back. And then I had to apply for my Canadian visa. Then I had to send my passport again to Ottawa to get all that. So this was all during COVID, and then some of the things you won't even know, because if like an office is closed because of COVID, you're waiting, like time is going. If like you going to the post office is even hard because you can't leave your apartment, or the post office is closed, or they have limited hours.
Well, you couldn't leave residence.
I couldn't leave residence. So as we were talking about before, I lived in residence on campus, and I think the provincial levels had gone lower, either like yellow or orange. And then some people in residence went out to party. And so a bunch of them came back, tested positive for COVID. They locked down the entire residence. So when I mean lockdown, it's a lockdown. You couldn't leave to take out the garbage. You couldn't leave to go to the cafeteria to get food. You could not walk out of your door. Basically, like you were like.
But don't you think that was extreme?
I was like, everybody was scared.
Like we were stopping a virus, but we were causing a virus, a mental health virus.
Like that was true, because like on campus there's lots of green space. I was like, okay, let me go out and smell fresh air.
You couldn't.
No.
Like, was the door locked? Like, could you really not just go outside?
Like, I think the doors were locked, but then I think they had security on the first floor. And so like if you look outside, nobody was outside. So if you now went outside, like how you come...
That just came to my mind. I'm like, how do we find a way to escape?
And because like many of the like campus residences, they don't have windows you can open for fresh air to come in. It's like centralized air vents and stuff like that. So that too was hard. Like just living inside and it's just like smelling the same air, cannot feel any breeze. It wasn't good. So to get meals, you'd have to like fill a form online for the cafeteria and put in your room number, and you'd see the menu and then say what you wanted, and they bring it to your room. Then you keep your garbage outside your room, and then they pick that up. And so that happened for a while. Like I know it happened for a few weeks, and I was like, I'm done with this. Can I go and smell fresh air? Like the day when we were finally able to come out, I was like, thank God.
It's like Noah's Ark all over again.
Yes, I just sat outside for a while. I was like, I don't need anything. Let me just sit out here and enjoy fresh air that God has given us. Because, oh my gosh, like, at that point, like, fresh air was underrated. Like, it was, honestly. That was definitely an experience. And definitely challenging, like, mental health-wise. But during that period, though, I was intentional about, like, calling family, calling my friends. Okay, how we might all be quarantined in different spots, but let's all, be with each other. And so with that, I got very comfortable, even more comfortable maintaining relationships online. And so that did help me, navigate that mental health, because, still be being so, but we go have kind of thing. And so that was helpful during that period. Yeah, it was just having that community. Maintaining that community, as hard as it was virtually, was really helpful.
Thinking back to the story about your friend and just how you cried, I feel like the crying was also a release of a burden, the burden of, if this person passed away, I've done something wrong. I didn't do well enough. I didn't take better care. I didn't connect them with more. I didn't do more. And I think like when I think about therapy and how is therapy really necessary when you have a strong community, when you are in a space that you feel very secure. I think for many new immigrants or new international students or youth, there is so much, even if you are a very secure person in your country, when you come to a new environment, there's a lot of insecurity that you face. And it takes a while to build a strong community. And so for people that look at therapy and just kind of put their nose in the air about it, I sort of feel if they only expanded their perspective, they might be able to receive more comfort. Because in a therapy space, you're able to feel safe. I mean, not all therapies actually. Not all therapists make you feel safe, but for the most part, you feel safe, and you can also share and glean wisdom from them and feel that somebody cares about what's happening on the inside for you.
Yeah, and it's also the mental piece too, because I think when people think about therapy, at least coming from Nigeria, you think, this person, something is happening upstairs that's not aligned.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. And for me, I had to, gain that awareness that, therapy isn't something bad. Or therapy isn't for, as some people say, crazy people. Or therapy isn't for, people whose lives are over. No, your life can be good and you're going to therapy because, like you said, maybe the person doesn't have that community. Maybe they move to a new city and they're trying to figure stuff out. Therapy can also be like an accountability thing, maybe you have a goal for yourself. Having somebody external who's going to keep you accountable, helps in that way. And back to what is about community, I think having a community you can trust that wants your best interest can also be helpful. Because thinking back to university, just laughing about life and challenges or midterms with my friends, who are also Nigerian, was or the exchange rate, would laugh about it. Those are people who understood and people who got me. So that community helped, talking to people, and it's not like they're judging you or looking down on you. It's we're helping each other out. That too is a kind of okay, you're releasing that stress mentally, because if some part of your body is spinning, you go to a doctor to get it checked out. But we see, with mental health, it's not something you do. Everybody should just hustle, brace up, And therapy isn't the only way to take care of your mental health, but that's watching what you eat, or exercise, or journaling. There are different ways for different people, but mental health is a part of health that we need to prioritize.
That's right.
Yeah.